Joshua Weissman is a super awesome professional chef whose YouTube channel just hit 6 million subscribers.
Unlike me, who never cuts my beard and lives in my mom's basement.
Dad, we don't live in his basement.
Get out of here, kid. I'm trying to sell the American dream.
Not too long ago, he made this giant French toast. And I thought, for my kids, I could recreate this, but vegan, which is a play on his various series, but better, but cheaper, and maybe some other buts. With one T, that is. At the end, we're putting this recipe to the test with my daughters.
Chocolate.
Similar to JW, we're going to start out with a few big buns. And I cannot lie. To be clear, these are my buns, not his buns. But rather than white bread, we're going to dial up the sinfulness with a plant-based brioche. We're starting out with these 2 sweet potatoes that we're going to get naked. First peel them, then dice them into cubes. We're using these to enrich the dough, sort of like eggs would in your typical recipe. There's various benefits for using a sweet potato. One of my favorites is actually the color it gives. It helps fool people into dialing down that cholesterol. Make sure you wash them, then boil them. 15 minutes later, you could toss them into a blender. Or just simply mash them by hand. My blender was feeling neglected, so this felt like an obligation. Now measure out what you need, and if you have too much, I know exactly what you're having for dinner. Next, get yourself a large repurposed fishbowl. Repurposing a fishbowl, if that ain't some vegan right there, I don't know what is. 5.5 cups or 660 grams bread flour. If it sounds like I'm slurring my words, well, it is a bit late while I'm recording this. As far as the deep voice, well, that's just me for free. 3/4 cup or 149 grams cane sugar, 4.5 teaspoons instant yeast, and 2 teaspoons salty salt, or whatever they're serving in your neck of the woods. Give the ingredients a little bit of what I like to call that tornado treatment, and once you completely have the gang together, set that aside and bring out an additional bowl. Sorry about my next bowl, you can't see inside of it and you can't see through it. It's pretty much a black hole, sort of like a Tinder date. At least the profile is pretty. Add in your boiled, mashed, but cooled 1.25 cup or 300 grams sweet potato, 1 cup or 226 grams softened vegan butter, 3/4 cup or 170 grams warm water or warm dairy-free milk from a plant or a nut. You want your milk to be this hot. Actually, don't listen to me, just look at the white numbers. And a tablespoon vanilla extract. Buckle in the bowl. Start your engines. That's after connecting the proper attachment. Using the paddle attachment, bring everything together until it looks something like your favorite unappetizing carrot smoothie. With the mixer on low, or just stop the mixer. I don't know about you, but it gives me anxiety to try to pour in flour while the mixer blade is moving. Add in your flour in a few parts, then mix in after each. You want to do this until your dough begins to cling to your attachment. Once that happens, tag in your dough hook to finish the wrestling match, aka kneading. And boom, approximately 6 minutes and 42 seconds later, you are now out of labor with a beautiful dough baby. Simply roll it into a ball, grease a bowl, and toss it into the bowl. Now cover your baby up with some see-through plastic blankets. Now Joshua likes to draw on his dough, but I actually like to name mine. And this one, I'm gonna name Renee. I'm not even sure why, but I'm feeling it. About an hour or two later, this should be doubled in size. Toss some flour down and invert the dough onto the target landing. We need to split the dough in half, and if you're a real thrill seeker, you kind of just go for it. As for me, the perfectionist, I'm gonna weigh mine and let watering my plants be the highlight of my day. Shape the dough into the most unrecognizable rectangle that you have ever made. You know, one that only your mom would love. Now roll that up lengthwise into a log. Place that into a bread baking pan prepped with either parchment paper and or oil. Cover it up once more with a loosely greased plastic canopy. Now all you have is 1 more hour to wait. Okay, so about 20 to 30 minutes into that hour, make sure your oven is preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. You could also go ahead and make your vegan egg wash. That's going to be 2 tablespoons melted vegan butter and 2 tablespoons maple syrup. Soon after, expect your dough to start to dome above the bread pan, like you see here in Exhibit A. Now gracefully oil up them buns and toss them into the oven for 35 to 45 minutes. When done, Josh says to allow them to cool on their side, which looks kind of funny. I'm about 100% certain this one may be just playing dead. I've never had an issue with my bread cooling upright, but I'm into trying new methods. With your dough cooled and no longer playing dead, shave off the ends and chop them into 1, 2, 3 slices. That's about 3 to 4 inches each slice. Now for the creamy and delicious custard, which we are going to spice like it's Christmas morning. Into a flat base bowl, we're doing 3 tablespoons cornstarch, 2 tablespoons dark brown sugar, ½ teaspoon vanilla powder. Yes, I said it, vanilla powder, which was sold to me by my dealer out the trunk of his ride. I like to call him Amazon. 1 teaspoon ground cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon fresh nut from Meg, quarter teaspoon allspice, whisk that all together, then milk a coconut. Or go for the more alternative barbaric option, 383 grams or 1 can coconut milk. Give that a whip and nay until merged. Now preheat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit, along with a skillet to fry these not so pocket squares. Add 1 tablespoon oil to help handle the high heat, 2 tablespoons dairy-free butter for flavor, but vegan butter is basically oil. So while that heats up, dunk your pillows into the custard mixture. That's going to allow it to soak, then flip and repeat. I actually like to push down on the sponge. This helps to draw in more of that mixture on the first pass. These incredible, more functional edible stress squares can now be fried on side A for about 1 to 2 minutes, then flip over and repeat on side B. You know it's ready when it's gold, toasted, and irresistibly beautiful. Now onto a baking sheet and into the oven for an additional 8 to 10 minutes to firm up. When done, you officially have Texas-sized French toast in New Jersey, which would be incredibly creepy and scientifically impossible if you didn't live in New Jersey. Now, of course, this is plant-based, so naturally I'll be adding some fresh fruit. Yeah, not today. Here's some chocolate chips, powdered sugar, dairy-free frostbitten ice cream from my last video, and chocolate sauce. That is invisible because I did not make it yet. So let's make it. Into the average saucepan goes a half cup or 100 grams cane sugar, quarter cup or 54 grams brown sugar, a pinch of sea salt, a half cup or 42 grams unsweetened cocoa powder. Do this wrist exercise and add in a half cup or 114 grams of water. During the wrist circles, get this going over medium heat and bring to a boil. Then turn down to a simmer for additional 3 to 5 minutes or until a sauce-like substance forms. During that 3 to 5 minutes, my spidey senses were tingling since I drank too much water, but I was able to locate some vegan marshmallows. Got them all nice and toasty, then tossed them into the pan, followed by 2 teaspoons vanilla extract. This sauce looks like magic. Now it's time to plate this coma for my daughters.
What are you doing?
Alright, we're gonna do this guy here.
Shall just let the ice cream
I got
fall
it.
off.
You got it?
Yeah.
Alright, taste it. Let me know what you think. You barely even had that in your mouth.
It's just so good.
What do you think?
It's great.
This is the best thing I've ever tasted.
So what do you think about having French toast like this moving forward?
Yes.
I would freak out and I would love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, anymore.
So,
I've gone by your hand.
As you can see, it's kid tested and dad approved. Thank you so much for watching. Believe in good. I'll see you in the next one.